getting in the groove.
Oh, well, we were supposed to be rolling our new intro, which
That's
is...
all I had.
We'll roll it next week. Hello, everybody. We are a couple of minutes late, but who cares? Hello. Welcome to the Not Okay, It's Okay podcast. This is a place where it is okay to not be okay. And Rashidah and I are here. We are licensed mental health professionals who are here to normalize the mental health struggles.
Absolutely.
And offer practical solutions to what life tends to throw at us on the daily.
You never know what's going to happen.
We never know what's going to happen. So, hey, welcome to Season 2, Episode 6. Today we are talking about perfectionism, something that is... personally very near and dear.
Same here.
And same to you.
Same here.
Hey girl, hey.
Hey, girl, hey.
How are you?
I'm okay. You
Okay,
know?
because if you're not okay, that's okay.
Yeah, that is okay. I love our
I know.
topic.
I love it too.
It's so amazing.
It's been a couple of weeks. We've been out of the studio. We got Christian here, who is always awesome.
Christian.
So, tell me, how have you been? What's going on?
Life, I love the whole, like, what life throws at you on the daily. Because I feel like on the daily, it has been a lot of things happening.
I hear you.
You know, just a lot of some grief stuff,
right.
the kids stuff.
Sure.
Work, it's just trying to balance all that.
Absolutely, while being in this world where we are now reemerging after COVID. I mean, I know it still exists, so nobody hate on me, but, the mask orders have been lifted and we're seeing more faces, which personally speaking, I cannot get enough of faces right now.
I know, I felt, we spoke about this, feeling weird, just like, whoa, we don't have a mask on.
Absolutely.
And it's bizarre.
It's bizarre. However, let us all respect everybody else's level of comfort. Might not be yours. Don't judge people if they're not wearing masks. Don't judge them if they are. You don't know anybody's personal story, so let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, some people have, underlying health conditions or not want to, risk other family members.
Absolutely.
And that's fine. That's okay.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
So,
and some people need time, right? Like, it's almost like ripping the Band-Aid off and you're like, I wasn't ready.
Right.
So
Absolutely. Sure. So
okay.
let us ease back to the norm. And so you said lots of stuff coming up for you and then dealing with, regular life. So,
what about you, Miss Hilary?
I have been all right, dealing with life and myself. I'm in the process of, I just hired a new therapist. I'm a little excited about
That's
it.
exciting.
I have my woman, but I'm taking a little hiatus from her to work on a new technique. So I'm really excited, and I won't share about it yet. I want to kind of experience it first.
Yes.
I had my intake yesterday. So I feel like I'm going to keep y'all abreast of the situation. And so this way, maybe my experience can help someone who might be wondering about the technique.
Yeah,
so.
I think I'm going to start interviewing some therapists. Look, you like how I said it? I'm interviewing them.
Some therapists. Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, that being said, it's good to be back here.
It is good. It is good to be back here. And, today, guys, we are going to be talking about perfectionism.
What is perfectionism, you ask? Well, I happen to have the definition.
Define that.
So, define perfectionism. The refusal to accept any standard short of perfect. That's number one. The other part is more of how how humans might. So striving for flawlessness, which is accompanied by critical self-evaluations, as well as concerns for how other people are evaluating, which is the kind way of saying judging us.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So there we go. That is perfectionism.
And I think, it was kind of a little difficult to find some statistics on perfectionism, but I feel like we all have some form of it.
Uh-huh.
I
think, the human nature portion of it, which we'll talk about it in terms of comparison, right?
Yeah.
It's human nature to want to compare ourselves, to others, to other people like us, to other people not like us. But It's in that we find, comparison is the death of all happiness. I think Buddha said this, and I think we've said it here many times. Comparison is the death of all happiness because it automatically makes what we have not good enough. And that can be what we have personally or what we have in terms of materialistic things.
Yeah.
So that's how it affects us. So hey, Cheryl and Joe and Tina
Hey
and
guys.
Stephanie.
Hi, ladies.
And
we're gonna talk about some practical solutions, to work through perfectionism.
yes, absolutely. So we will get there. So that is those are the definitions of perfectionism. So we wanted to kind of talk a little bit about where it comes from, right? So we were chatting before. We have our little meeting for future. We have our business meeting right before this at the lovely Bellworks studio, which is incredible.
So cool.
Bellworks.
I'm just waiting for paparazzi to just jump out and be like, "Oh my gosh!"
Seriously, her with paparazzi
Yes.
because Rashidah is so famous.
No, because listen,
so insane.
I can't wait for people to be like, "Oh my gosh, it's Hilary and Rashidah at the Not Okay, It's Okay."
Really, I can wait for that.
I can't.
I can. But anywho, so
Anybody who stares at me too long, I think that they know where I'm part of this.
so if somebody is giving you the side eye, they're
They
like,
know.
"Oh my God, that's totally
I know
Rashidah
they're-
from the Not Okay, It's Okay podcast." Okay, moving right along. So where does perfectionism or the need for perfectionism or the want for perfectionism come from? So we kind of came up with a couple. First and foremost, our family culture.
Yeah, family of origin.
Right? Family of origin stuff. What was, the goods, the bads, the rights, the wrongs, the acceptables, the unacceptables, regarding looks, achievements, so many things. So go ahead.
Can I share it's
your show, girl.
One, with family of origin, I think about, my mom was always, she probably wouldn't care about this because she's, skinny now. But she was always dieting. I'd always see her getting on a scale. I'd always see her on some fad diet, watching what she eats, and so I think, when you're looking at the person who, is your parent, I just didn't realize that. I was like, so she doesn't think if she's not okay with who she is, then
right, she wants to be better, or she's not happy at this weight, and then it's like, why is she not? What's wrong with it?
Right.
She looks happy, she looks healthy, or absolutely.
Yeah.
So the modeling also, not only our family culture, but what was modeled for us, and usually not consciously.
Right.
It because not likely, but it was your mother struggling with her stuff.
Yep.
And in turn modeled this behavior. And I come from, and my mother's going to kill me, but I'm just going to roll with it.
She's not going to kill you.
It's my truth, right? And she's the best mother in the world. So, same.
Yeah.
My mom, in terms of body image and clothing that fits and this and that, and just picking herself apart, in dressing rooms. And I would sit there and that was my experience.
Yeah.
Her oh, this doesn't look good. Oh, look at the, and just not loving the body, not, and actually while you continue to talk on that, one of my besties on my chat with my besties, she sent something. So you can talk. I'll find it.
Yeah. So, I just want, people who are listening now, think about it, think about, your family of origin and how, perfectionism showed up for you. Was it having to be perfect, at sports, right?
In school, grades, right?
I remember also, in my family, it was just there was it's not acceptable. A C is not acceptable.
Right.
And it's just ugh.
Yeah. And then also there's you come home with a 92 and they're like, where are the other?
Yes.
8 points. Sorry, I suck at math. 8 points, right? Why didn't you get 100? And then it's what is that? What do we then internalize, right? And when we're kids, we internalize and we distort, right?
I was I'm making this about me. I was traumatized when, I was little. I remember being in science class and the teacher would put we'd have a test and he'd put the lowest paper on top and the highest score on the bottom. And oh my gosh, I was always like the lowest, one or two. And just him walking to me, and I'm like,
oh, that's terrible.
It's just like, oh, I don't want to be that, and why can't I be in the higher,
right,
percentile?
Which automatically translated to you as the "I'm not good enough" message. Yeah, which we're going to talk about too, because this perfectionism and. We're going to talk about the word perfect and just recognize that there is no perfect.
No.
Perfect is subjective. Perfect looks different for everybody.
Right.
And just how that is directly tied to our self-esteem and our worth.
Yeah.
So this was what came through on my chat with my girls who I've been friends with since before kindergarten.
Okay.
As a child, I never heard a woman say, "I love my body." Not my mother, my sister, my best friend. So I make sure to say it to my daughter because a positive physical outlook has to start at an early age.
Wow.
And you know who said it? Kate Winslet.
Nice.
Who is likely one of the only celebrities. Well, I shouldn't say that. She's not the only, but she is one of the first celebrities to insist upon no photoshopping. There was like huge controversy. She once did I think, after the height of Titanic, and like she's just had this in crazy career, she sued a magazine because she approved photos for the cover, and then they went ahead and airbrushed her and took her curves away and like wrinkles, and she was freaking out. So she's really an advocate for showing who real women are.
And I feel like Scarlett Johansson, I don't know why.
Yeah, I think a lot
Yeah.
of women now are stepping up to the plate because they're recognizing, and we're going to get to it too. So let's move to that, right? So we've had the family culture piece, which I'm sure will come up again, but the social and the societal pressures that we feel via media, right? Movies, TV, commercials, magazines, Instagram, all of this stuff.
Yes. I remember growing up, I used to watch the Oprah Winfrey Show. Loved the 4 o'clock.
Yep, 4 o'clock every day.
It used to be the talk of like, is it going to be skinny Oprah or is it going to be the bigger version of Oprah?
Right.
Because, she talked about like the yo-yo diet, and she would
always,
and now she's at this place of like, you know what? I'm done with all that. I'm going to be happy in my skin. And it took her decades.
Yeah, absolutely.
Decades.
Yeah. And so the self-acceptance piece, right? So striving for perfectionism.
Right.
It's really, I would say first and foremost, it is so dangerous and unhealthy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, and people die to look a certain way.
Absolutely.
And
From dieting and deprivation, and also it leads to addictions.
Yeah, I think about young girls out there and boys.
Yeah,
young boys out there.
Yep.
Looking at images of celebrities, and a lot of those images are not real. Like it's
right.
May not even be their body.
Right. They have body doubles. Photoshop and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Sure. So so there's a lot coming at us. So it makes sense that there would be this need/want for perfectionism, right? Because we are constantly, we're bombarded.
Yeah, it's just
by these images
everywhere. So think about your home life, and and then you're bombarded by like every commercial you see on TV.
Oh, so personal story. I love her. I'm not going to like throw shade or hate on her, but like Cindy Crawford ruined my life. Like my idea of perfect, which I think I'm slowly letting go of in my 40s. That Pepsi commercial, just one look. Yeah. And she's in the cutoff jeans, and I felt so right. She's walking down, and she's like, tumbleweeds are flying by, and she's in this, the white tank top that they used to call, like in Brooklyn, they always called that a wife beater. I know it's not the right thing to call it, but it was just like that white tank top and the cutoffs and the cowboy boots. And I have yet to have that moment, but I'm hoping to have the moment in a healthy way. Maybe for my 45th birthday. I don't know. But that destroyed me. So I'll never look that way in a tank top. I'll never wear, Yeah. So not to hate on her, I love her, but
Yeah, and I think
that image was
right-
like emblazoned, burnt
right,
into my
the
head.
thought of like this is perfection.
Yes.
You know,
with her hair, it was like up and
yeah.
big, and
if there was a fan probably blowing her hair.
totally, and the tumbleweeds, and I was just
Yeah.
like, she is everything.
Right, she must be so happy, right?
Yeah,
We create
right.
these like stories.
Oh, of course, absolutely.
Nothing's hard for her.
Her life is perfect,
Her life is perfect.
right?
You
She
know?
has everything perfect.
Yeah, if you're beautiful, like you have no problems.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah. So Tina's saying, yes, definitely. And Cheryl definitely comes from childhood for sure. Cheryl said she had to be perfect in school and was not allowed to get anything but A's. Jenna was taught how to suck in at a very young age, like suck in her belly.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. That is, yeah, absolutely. We all have these stories that affected us really personally. So, you know, I'm really glad that you guys are sharing about this, because this is how, when we get to our practical solution part, it's, you know, it's about kind of going back and revisiting where these messages came from and like attacking it at the root. So that's going to be good. So yay. Good work, you guys.
You know, and you know, you think about like, you know, when will we, you know, we're in media, I feel like we're shifting to some more acceptance of body.
Yes.
You know, with models. More,
absolutely, like the Dove ads and campaigns.
Yeah.
Target now has,
yes.
like much more body positive. Yet there's a lot of conflict, a lot of stuff regarding that too, because there are some people who don't love the body positive images because they're saying that then it promotes unhealthiness. And I just think, you know, relax a little bit. But, you know, yeah, so there are, and like bra shops like Soma, and even I forgot what it was. I think, again, in my text message with my girls, because clearly it's a huge part of my life, one of them, I don't know who it was, sent that Victoria's Secrets is now, there was like a more voluptuous, curvy woman body.
Well, that's great. I used to hate when they have the big show and everybody was just, in my eyes, perfect.
Of course. So, yeah. So what does that do for us when we're staring at, like, well, now it's like Kendall Jenner and Gigi Hadid, like all the supermodels of today. But we were looking at, you know, Heidi Klum and
Naomi
Campbell and Giselle Bundchen.
Yeah.
I mean, these were these women coming down, and it's like, oh my goodness.
And, you know, I was thinking about, you know, shifting to, you know, and how does that, you know, really truly impact us, right?
Yeah.
And so I think about, like, I've been on like numerous diets. Every diet, the water diet, the broth diet,
the grapefruit
cayenne
diet,
pepper diet.
You
know, every diet, right?
Right.
And I remember anytime I dieted and I fall off and have that slice of pizza, I felt like, you know, I sabotaged. This is the worst thing that happened because I wasn't perfect. I wasn't able to stick to the plan, you know, and then I was off to the rails.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Beating myself up.
Oh, for sure. Same, girl. I have had such an unhealthy relationship with my body for, I would say, since probably starting in middle school.
Yeah.
You know, it goes deep.
It goes real
But
deep.
that's okay, because this is what therapy's for, you know? And so this self-acceptance, what we have, who's that, Eva?
That's April.
Oh, April.
AKA
Hey.
April.
I'm so proud of our new generation who are fighting against the old stereotype of 10s. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, 100%. Stephanie wrote, everyone in my family is thin. My belly usually isn't flat due to endometriosis.
Oh, okay.
And there are always comments about how I should watch my weight. Yeah. And that is not okay.
Yeah.
It's not okay to have people commenting on your personal, you know, it's not okay. And again, practical solutions, we're going to come to it, but that's where boundaries and saying the word no comes in. So we're going to get there. So thank you for bringing that up.
And I'm relating to you because, you know, I know when I had a baby, my first child, and stretch marks came, I was just like, it's over. You know, it looked like Freddy Krueger trying to claw
I
his
know.
way out.
Same. Yeah. It's real.
Christian is-
It's real. Yeah, no, it's cute. Yeah, it looks like we got attacked by a feral cat. Yeah, but at the end of the day, now with this newfound work that I'm doing to love the skin I'm in, I could always improve, but I need to love this now, is those are my war wounds. Those are my battle wounds from housing a child and, like, you know, holding a 10-pound baby up in there.
And then here goes.
Thank you, C-section.
And then here goes the, you know, someone that I knew was just like, oh, you should have did the cocoa butter. If you did the cocoa butter, your stomach wouldn't look like that.
Not true. I did the cocoa butter. So.
Hashtag facts.
Yeah. So, Stephanie said, or strangers asking if I'm pregnant. That is not okay, people. Can we just have like a public service announcement to people, women, men? If you don't know someone is pregnant for sure,
your New Yorker is coming out.
Don't ask.
Yeah.
That is the rudest. That's up there with asking a married woman who does not have children. Oh, when are you gonna have the baby? Shut up. Shut up, because you don't know my story.
Fuck up.
Yeah, back up, because you don't know my story, and you don't know that I've been struggling for 4 years to get pregnant. So
why do people do that?
Because they just, I think they're doing the best they can with what they know, and they're just curious. I want to believe it's not malicious, but yeah. Anyway, public service announcement, don't do that. It's rude, and you don't know. People are fighting battles that you can't see. So thank you. Getting back to perfectionism.
Reminded me when I was like pregnant, and they're like, oh, you're carrying your boobs.
Really?
What is that about? Like, I'm sorry, it's just trauma.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is.
Just
sure.
Like, shut up.
Yeah, absolutely. Mind your neck. So, so let's, the other thing to recognize about perfection and we know who we are, and we don't have to, Rashidah and I don't have to get into the specific ways that perfectionism comes up for you. This is very personal. And so when, you know, we're going to get into our practical solution shortly, but it's really about you. It's very, you know, the way I strive or used to strive for perfection is not going to be the same way maybe that you did or you did. Yeah. It's about, you know, knowing ourselves. And we're going to talk more about that, but to just recognize that the more focused that we are on this idea of striving for perfection, and the more we allow perfectionism to really take over and I'm trying to find the word. What's the word?
Hold us back?
When it comes in, it's unwelcome.
Toxic?
Yeah, it's this toxicity. We're so focused on that we lose the moment. So we're missing moments with our friends. We're missing moments with our family. Yeah. We're missing moments with our children or we're just missing fun moments. Like if we're out to dinner with friends and we're there to just have a good time, but I'm focused on the fact that, you know, when I sit, I can see a little belly roll.
Right.
Like then I lose that time, this precious time where we all recognize through COVID how precious it is to have those moments together. Yeah. You know,
you reminded me, you brought up something for me. I remember when I used to be dating, you know, in my young ages, I was always mindful of what I ate on that first date. I don't know if that, but you know, it was just
I feel like I always ate.
I couldn't eat like anything. I couldn't eat spaghetti. Like anything that was going to be sloppy or that food could fall from my mouth. Yeah, it had to be something like not a hamburger. It had to be something that I could just be confident that it would not fall.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's another way, perfectionism. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, what is perfectionism? Like we said in the definition, what does perfectionism equal? It equals either critical self-evaluation or concerns regarding another person's evaluation of us. And so that's like, exactly
it. Basically, it was fear. Yeah, you know, afraid like, absolutely. What are they going to think if the shrimp falls?
Right.
Or if I was always the eater that just got something always.
Okay, that's all right.
But I wanted to bring up another thing. I think about like how much, you know, perfectionism can keep us from obtaining our goals.
100.
You know, I think about like artists, right? I've heard a few artists say, I don't want to show my work yet. It's not perfect enough.
Yeah.
You know, and then they never have that art show or things like that. Or my music is it's not perfect enough. You know, I can't, and it holds them back, you know, from
being themselves and just sharing the gift.
Right. And then there's that fear, right? The perfectionism, that fear of, what if people don't come to my art show? What if people don't like my work? What if somebody says something?
Well, right, because art is so personal and you're literally putting yourselves up there.
Yeah.
You know, and I can relate to that as a, former aspiring actress. You know, I'm classically trained, and for 3 years I studied at a conservatory after college, and a really incredible one. And I think I might have told this before or something, but I remember we were in a movement class, we did a lot of like body work and breath work, and the choreographer, who I absolutely loved, he was so amazing, like probably one of my favorite professors there, pulled me over to the side one day and he was like, Hilary, if you take off 10 pounds, you would be such a hot leading lady. And that hurt me so badly, so deeply, because here I am in like my early 20s. What was I, like 22? And I was just like, I was okay with where I was at. What did I weigh? $120? Oh God. And he just said that to me, and my soul was crushed. And that was, I just became more and more aware. And then so yeah, I hear you on that.
Yeah. So many, dreams can be crushed.
Absolutely.
And we don't realize with like one word, I always talk about Steve Harvey's in his story.
I love him.
And how he had said that he told his teacher he was going to be on TV, and she's just like, okay, I'm calling your parents, right? And she called, his parents, when he went home, he was like, I'm going to get a beating. And his mom was like, wait till your father gets home. Why would you put that on your paper? And then his father got home, and he basically, validated him, said, why can't he say that he's going to be on TV?
Absolutely.
But imagine if the dad also said,
right,
what are you doing?
Yeah. Then you have your parents who are supposed to be supportive and, model that you can do anything and just work hard.
Yeah.
And stick to your passion and stick to your dreams. Yeah. That's incredible. And look at Steve Harvey now. Side note, if anybody ever wants a giggle, please go to YouTube and just put in like funny Family Feud. Seriously, there are so many that I like roll. Could you, funny, put on Porcupine, put on Cupine, or I mean, seriously, there is one episode here. It is just incredible. So I highly recommend it. Go Google, can we play it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Really?
Yeah, you put it out there.
Okay. Well, I mean, everybody, our listeners can. Okay, let's.
They can.
Some pork walk.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Steve Harvey.
I love him.
Here we go. Top 6 answers are on the board. Name something that follows the word pork.
Lawn!
Huh?
Lawn! Pork lawn!
Pork lawn. She's screaming at him. Pork lawn!
L-I-O-N, lawn!
Oh.
Pork lawn!
Glad you spelled
No,
it.
this is. Wait, no. Now, can you forward to the part where they go back? Yeah. Go back to her family on the left. Okay. Go a little further. Okay, wait. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Seriously, this is my life. I watch this way too much to admit.
Oh, God.
Listen to this.
What down?
Name something that follows the word
You're gonna
pork.
die.
You pie.
He said you pie. Look at his face. Look at him. She's screaming yes.
That's my turn!
Wait, the best. This is
Pork.
He says,
He said,
Cupid.
Cupid.
He's going to be like, what? What? Look,
Cupid.
what?
What is Cupid?
It's the best. So yeah, go watch the full stuff. But yeah, we can always. Thank you, Christian. It's so. It must be so nice to be tech savvy and be like, you want to watch it right now?
I know.
So yeah, do that because there's more. It gets even funnier. So let's move on to practical solutions,
Yeah, practical
shall
solutions. Yep.
we? Okay. So first and foremost, Rashidah and I have spoken about this. You know, it comes up in literally every practical solution starts with that self-awareness,
Yeah,
right?
that insight.
We cannot make any changes until we become aware.
Yeah.
So just increased awareness. Comparison. Number one, when do I find myself? When and what do I compare myself to? Right? So it's about
Triggers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
What is a triggering event? Is it being around family and you know,
Right.
like the holidays and
Right.
people are like, oh,
Is it scrolling on Instagram?
Yeah.
Is it, yeah. So who am I comparing myself to? What am I comparing myself to? And when do I do this?
Right.
So
Right.
raising that awareness, taking the inventory, right? Our self-inventory we've kind of talked about. And I would say then creating from there, once we have the right, Rome wasn't built in a day. This is something we want to move toward. A goal would then be creating more realistic personal goals / expectations.
And I just wanted to, just before that one,
Sure.
I'm thinking like, you know, how is this serving you, right? Like, are you feeling good, you know, with yourself, you know, when this perfectionism comes up,
Right.
or are you feeling like not good, right? And is this something that you want to work through?
Yep.
You know,
Absolutely. So creating realistic goals, personal goals, expectation. Also, a big one is revisiting past goals that we may have had, right? Because again, and we've said this before, in terms of, you know, changing the tape in our head, we have to make sure we're not beating ourselves up over something we wanted to be when we were 15 or 20
Yeah.
or right, because life makes loops and circles and we don't always want to do what we wanted to do then.
you just triggered a thought, you know, about, you know, parenthood, right?
Sure.
And wanting to be, you know, we talked about the good enough and
Sure.
you know, just wanting to be perfect. And when we have those moments where we feel like we've like, I dropped the ball.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
You know, it's just remembering that you can, you know, you have tomorrow to do a little better.
Sure.
You know,
Absolutely. Yeah.
there's no perfect parent.
No, there's good enough, and those
There's
are
good enough.
according to clinical studies. Good enough parents are better than those perceived perfect ones. Challenging our inner critic, right? We've spoken about our inner critic
Yeah.
before. Sidebar, Jenna, I love you. Good answer. Good answer. For Cupine, you caught that. She was so proud of him. So challenging the inner critic and, you know, disputing the negative thoughts and really
Yeah.
reframing that and again, becoming aware that we do have the inner critic. And when does the inner critic get loud?
Yeah.
Right? Really, you know, this is a lot of the stuff we talk about here is stuff that we both work on
Yeah.
with clients and myself on my personal therapy journey.
Yeah.
So again, it comes with awareness. What does my inner critic say? Where does she go when, she always goes to body or not good enough or blah, blah, blah.
I went to the doctor yesterday and I hate when they put you on the scale.
I have refused the scale for probably 25 years.
Oh my gosh.
What happened?
It's just terrifying. It's like, do I take my
It's
shoes
horrible.
off? Do I eat that day?
Uh-huh.
It's just amazing, like the pressure that I'm under when I have to get on that scale. I mean, I guess I could say no, but then I'm just like, I really want to, you know,
Yeah.
but then I want to know.
I know every morning on my bathroom scale, but wait a second, you want to hear an embarrassing story? So I was literally, I must have had like an empowered moment at my last, like a physical, the yearly, because I know like every time I'm like, yeah, no, I don't get on the scale. I got on this morning. I don't love it. It triggers me. It makes me anxious. I don't want to do it. So they're like, oh, what do you weigh? And I'm like, what do I weigh? And I give some bullshit number. And this year, for some reason, I was like empowered. I'm like, I'm going to tell my truth. He's like, Hilary, you gained like 40 pounds.
Wow.
Well, because I was lying. I lied to him and I gave him like my dream weight. And then he's like, wow. So just whatever. Anyway, just a funny story that popped into my head.
That is a funny story.
So challenging our inner critic and disputing our negative thoughts, like things we've discussed here before. You can go revisit those shows if you want. We've done inner critic. We've done re-recording the tapes in our head, right? So those are good ones to kind of revisit.
You know, for me, I have to like kind of like say stop, like just bring myself back, like, you know, and think about it, like, okay, the scale, like, you know, it's just a number, you know, and this lady don't care.
Oh God.
You know.
Yeah, no, true.
Even
true,
though the
absolutely.
scale just kept going.
I know.
I hate when
Ew. She's like 2 fingers.
I know.
And then she moves the top one another 50 pounds and you're like, damn.
And then it like gets to that point where she's just like, it could go, and I want it to go this way.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's a pressure.
Seriously, I remember in middle school, junior high school, because I went to school in New York, in like, I don't know, I think it was like 7th or 8th grade or maybe even 9th grade. And they used to put you on your gym spot and you'd have to scream out your weight.
No.
Way, totally. And in these way too short shorts. They were horrible. And I remember people were like, 100 in this, 100. And I was like, and it was our real thing. And it was 97. And I remember holding on to that number and being so grateful that it wasn't over 100 for stupid reasons, because I was afraid of what other people would think of me.
Yeah. And then I think on another level, like, you know, because it's bring up a lot for me.
Sure.
You know, I think about my hair, right? Like for years, well, you know, like 40 some odd years, I would be either rocking extensions or wigs or clip-on buns or whatever you could put to add on, because I just felt like just my hair was not good enough.
Right.
You know, and I had this idea of what perfect hair would look like. In my mind, it was straight hair, it was long hair, it was flow in the wind hair, you know, and all that stuff. But I was, you know, and it wasn't until COVID happened and we talked about this that it was just like, wig shops are closed. And I'm like, you know what? Let me just chop it off and see what happens.
Amazing.
And like, sometimes you need, you know, people to be like, oh my God, you know, you look amazing. Like,
absolutely.
You know,
oh, we were taking inventory on your hair every week. It's the best. Like the evolution of your curls. And we just said before this started, I want an afro so bad.
We did. Yeah, she said that. I told her extensions. She could.
I had a really good weave in, and then COVID hit, and I literally had my husband and my son with pliers taking out the weave. All the beads.
Oh, you had like a fusion weave?
No, not a fusion, but the beads, you know, where the beads lock on.
I never had that.
It was like
probably expensive.
No, it really wasn't that bad. No, I found the weavologist. I don't know what to call her. Yeah, she was amazing. She was amazing. But anyway, okay, so let's get back to this. So we said challenging the inner critic. Also saying no more often. Right? That is a big thing when it comes to perfectionism. And just like, because that's other people either asking things of you or telling you things like, was it Stephanie that said, Stephanie said about comments about how she should watch her weight. You can turn around and be like, no. You know, no, I shouldn't watch my weight. And it's really inappropriate for you to be talking to me about that.
Because Thanksgiving time, let me tell you.
Sweatpants.
I'll have double mashed potatoes and stuffing. I'll go back. I'll keep going.
Good for you. Do it. Increasing awareness of your self-critical nature. Yeah. Again, raising awareness. How often do I speak badly of myself? How often do I walk past a reflection of myself in a mirror and make a face or just something that is unkind?
Yeah. Even with writing, like people don't, I know when I write, sometimes I feel like, oh, if I don't write neat enough, I'm throwing the paper away and starting again.
Yeah, and I mean, so we've kind of shifted the focus of perfectionism, I feel like, to body stuff, because that's something that is really common in women, and clearly we relate to that. But also perfectionism in terms of our work.
Yeah.
If we're writers, if we're musicians, if we're painters, setting time limits.
Yeah, that's a good
and
one.
not going back and, keep going back to kind of like revise
Yeah.
to trust.
Yeah.
So let's go down the list because those are the practical solutions I have. Did you have any more that you wanted to add, or should I read these
No,
down
let's read what you got.
Okay, so just to review before we get on to the bowl of no shame, practical solution number 1, increase awareness with everything. With comparison, when and what do I compare myself to? Who do I compare myself to?
Yep.
Taking that self-inventory and working to create more realistic goals for yourself or expectations for yourself, revisiting past goals so we make sure that we're not punishing ourselves for stuff that we don't even want anymore.
Yeah, and again, think about it if you're thinking about food, right? Like, let's say you had that slice of pizza and you've been working on, eating salads all the time.
Yep.
It doesn't negate all the 6 days that you were able to eat salads.
Absolutely, yes.
They're just looking at those goals.
Yeah, absolutely. Challenging our inner critic and disputing negative thoughts, saying no more often, and putting boundaries into effect for somebody who is like a chronic offender, right? A chronic offender of commenting on your weight or what you're eating or your work.
I have another one.
Or your parenting.
Or you just got married. When are you going to have the baby?
Oh, exactly.
Like there's like a timeline. And they have a
Yeah,
timeline.
no,
for you.
that was part of my public service announcement
Yeah.
before. Like, shut the F up.
Yeah.
Back up, mind your neck.
Pressure. Yeah.
So say no more often, increase the awareness of our self-critical nature. Again, what I'm saying. And also, like you were just bringing up, I think all or nothing thoughts, right? Just because, you ate really clean for 6 days and on the 7th day you decided to have a carb, like, that's okay. Really, in the realm of a day, it's okay. So just
Yeah.
the black and white thinking, the all or nothing.
Yeah.
And then with projects, setting limits, time limits on yourself. So yeah.
And just remembering there's no such thing as perfectionism.
There's no such thing as perfect. Perfect is subjective. What I think is perfect, which I don't, because in my practice, I've made a practice. There are 2 words that I never use. And if I do, they're with the air quotes, perfect and normal. Because there ain't no such thing. It depends on, so much.
The eye of the beholder.
Oh, sure.
I love that. The eye of the beholder.
Yeah, well, that's beauty, is in the eye of the beholder. What I might find beautiful, you might not find beautiful.
I remember Marilyn Monroe. Like Marilyn Monroe, didn't she have like
One of these.
moles? Oh, you gotta look. Are we?
We have one.
Oh my God!
We're twinning.
You are my long
That's my
lost.
Marilyn Monroe / Cindy Crawford. I have the
You
mole
are
on
my
my face, but I
long
don't
lost.
have the wife beater and short shorts and cowboy boots. So, okay, I'll just concentrate on my
We
mole.
were separated at birth.
We
There
are.
was
We are
some-
like bookends. I
Yeah.
just got to get a better fro because it's not working.
I
for
can
me.
help with that.
Thank you. Okay, good. So that
I
is.
see no difference.
Huh?
I see no difference.
See, right? We're twins. We're practically twins.
can't
we are.
believe it.
So that is what we got on perfectionism today. Hopefully this spoke to you and you can relate. Jenna wrote, I love this. My sister started practicing when people comment on weight. You look skinny. You look good. She says, I feel good or I feel strong. Well, rock
Very
on.
nice.
That is fantastic.
Very
You
nice.
know, absolutely. And then once she keeps that, she could tell people to mind their neck too.
Mind
So-
your neck.
Mind your neck. So here we go. This was perfectionism. Next week, we are going to have a surprise topic. Not because it's such a big surprise, but because we don't know what we're going to talk about yet. So, bowl of no shame, shall
Yes,
we?
the bowl of no shame. Oh
Go
my
get 'em.
gosh, this is not
Go
a
get it, girl.
perfect piece.
Oh, perfect piece.
Feels a little dampy.
Oh, really?
Okay, Hilary,
Yes.
if you could live anywhere, where would it be?
If I can live anywhere, where would it be? I would say somewhere that had all 4 seasons, none at which are harsh. So maybe I'd want I'd want a lot of fall and a lot of spring, with a little bit of summer and a little bit of winter. I would want to be in a cabin in the woods, but like a cool cabin with like
Not like horror movie-ish.
yeah, no, like a really beautiful cabin in the woods near some kind of like lake or river that I can go fishing and just sit and go hiking. Yeah, and could have animals and just be with nature. That's where I'm most grounded. So that's where I would live. I don't know where it is geographically. When somebody figures it out, let me know.
You know, the place that I've been that I would have loved to live in, but I think you can't live in there. You have to be native to the place. But Aruba.
I love Aruba.
It's just amazing.
Divvy
just-
trees, one happy island.
Yeah, it
It
just
really is.
zen, peace.
Yep. Blue
you know,
water.
quiet.
Yeah.
you
Good
know.
people.
You don't know that when you become a parent that you miss out on quiet.
Yes. All right. Good. And
Oh, Stephanie, you said my drink looks like a berry hibiscus. Ooh, so for those viewers, I want you to be able you name our drinks, right? If you know, like one of those kind of like, you'd be the first to
Well,
name this drink.
so here's a fun fact about random. So usually I get the peach green iced tea when I come here. And clearly, well, not clearly, apparently there's a shortage in peach juice because I haven't been able to get my drink. I know, real problems. But yeah, so there's a shortage of peach and guava juice, FYI. Rashidah, your biggest fear?
Oh, I mean, I have like, I have a lot of fears. Biggest fear is, I don't know, snakes.
Oh, same. I hate them.
I just like, ever since I watched Snakes on a Plane,
Ew, why would you watch that?
I don't know, it's like torture.
It's a great movie, though.
Why?
It was just
Why?
like the worst fear of being where you can't go nowhere, and they were like these big, humongous things.
Oh my God, I really can't even take that. Ew, that's like, I mean, I could hardly take Pee Wee Herman when he ran into the burning of one of my favorite movies. He ran into the burning pet store and he went back in and he knew what he was going to do and he had to save them because there was a fire. And he came out and he was holding them all and he's like, snakes! And then he passed out. So I feel you. Any others that you wanted to share?
Another big fear is I always have a fear that I would lose my kids. In a, I think that's most
Yeah.
parents' fears if something were to happen.
Yeah, God forbid. Knocking on.
So that's
Yeah.
just a huge human fear.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same. I would have to say, yeah, first and foremost, losing, a loved one or somebody very close to me. And I would also say fear of, being misunderstood and judged harshly for no reason, or having someone like not get me and take it personally, because I am like the consummate people pleaser type person. But I work on that, obviously, but like just having someone not get me and just like think bad things about me, or just be misunderstood, like Pink's album.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's a common fear.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, you made me think about another fear.
What?
If I went to prison, and to share one toilet with like my other
Cellie?
inmate in Cellie.
With you, Sally?
Oh my gosh! Like, what if you have to take a dump and like?
Goodbye, people. We are done. We have done. That is a wrap. We're out. It's done.
I'm sure this is normal fear for other people too.
Please, you guys want to talk to Rashidah about that, you can hit her up personally.
I'm available.
Next week, we don't know what we're talking about, but we will be back. Please go and like us.
Please like us.
on Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, and we are going to be getting YouTube up and running because we're up there. Who
So
knew?
we want you to subscribe.
So but we're gonna get it together. So thank you. It's been lovely. Be well. And let's get aware. Let's really raise our awareness at where we can do better with the criticism and that inner critic.
When we know better, we do better.
Exactly.
Peace out, people.
Bye, everybody. Be well. See you next week. The Not Okay, It's Okay podcast includes casual conversations related to mental health, self-care, practical tips and resources, along with validation that not being okay is okay. You acknowledge and agree that the following warnings and disclaimers shall apply to all of our content.
This podcast represents the opinions of Hilary Scheer, LPC, and Rashidah Cartwright, LCADC, and their guests to the show. The information provided is for informational purposes only, and we recommend that you consult with a healthcare professional for medical or mental health advice.
The views and opinions expressed in the Not Okay, It's Okay podcast are our own and do not represent that of our places of work. Do not use our content in lieu of professional advice given by qualified medical or mental health professionals. Always seek the advice of your own medical mental health provider related to your specific medical or mental health condition prior to implementing any recommendations or suggestions from using our content.
Privacy is of great importance to us. That being said, all people, places, and scenarios mentioned in the podcast have been changed to protect patient confidentiality.